If you are new to the African side of the internet, obey one rule: never come for the Nigerians. Whether as an individual, a group, or even a country, Nigerians on social media are known for their solidarity in rivalry, coded insults, and celebrating the downfall of their victims while acting confused when people take their words and actions to heart. It has gotten to a point where foreigners on social media dread to attract the Nigerian audience for the wrong reasons. Because we come from a country where it is welcomed to stigmatize people like left-handed users or albinos for being born different. Born people with tires that in Google search, our name is associated with mob justice. Be manipulated on the road if you want to get to your destination. A place where the government spews the most terrible, unintelligent lies because no one can do anything. And always fight to be better than your neighbor, even if it means death. The mind-blowing part is that when you stay long enough, you might join everyone to do the same in an attempt to behave in a Nigerian way and toughen up. Because if you decide not to wisen up in Nigerian slang, you'll get burnt. In a place where you eat or get eaten, how do you survive? Only one option: shine your eyes. Before we look into why everyone is hostile, it is important to understand the impact of the economic environment the average Nigerian lives in. The economic environment strives to make abundant resources scarce. Last year alone, there were long and consistent periods of forced scarcity, incessant nationwide strikes. All this occurrence is the daily reality of living in Nigeria, which forces the people to fight and stand in long lines to get basic human needs. It comes to vilifying people for expecting the least from the government. A good example of this is degrading people who depend on the government to provide palliatives during COVID-19. Or for devices like laptops to be complete during national exams, or for boreholes to supply water for a long period, or for electoral materials to be complete during election. This sets a default in the mind of a person to always be in a hurry to get things, or they're no longer there. During this struggle process, the person also realizes that hard work or coming on time does not guarantee getting those needs. You might have to drag their way out, know a person in charge of the resources, be from the same tribe as the leader. And if this does not work, you and the rest remaining will have to stab the least intimidating one to get the scraps. Growing up as a child, you are first introduced to this through the fight for space in the long line in front of the borehole, waiting hopelessly to get light to either read or iron your school uniform, seeing your parents fight with other tenants over a space, see them overtake cars on a chaotic road, receiving an hurling insult to other drivers, or in the filling station during fuel scarcity, or seeing your parents beg and bribe their way to get the attention of the local chairman over a piece of land that somebody wants to take over, or listening to them advise you against helping stranded people in the road because most times they end up being scammers or kidnappers. This constant cycle of survival mode makes you develop a scarcity mindset that turns the environment into a jungle where the strong eat the weak. Thus, any sign of kindness in this unjust system is misunderstood, strained, and sets you up as a prey. This produces a lot of ripple effects across the way people interact with each other. The first problem this causes is the constant imaginary competition everyone is in with the next neighbor. Since statues or connections are more recognized to receive something, everyone presents a superficial representation of themselves that society rewards. These superficial representations are promoted in traditional events like marriages, funerals, and festivals. Most times, events are one of the ways to attain this standard rather than the main reason behind them. Members of a family like the Sons compete on these occasions by inviting big name on social media as well-dressed individuals for society to judge who is the richest or well-connected. The traditional music landscape in Nigeria is also a testament to this pattern. The traditional music focuses on praising well-known figures, and the MC at these events tend to focus on praising the wealthy as they arrive. Another problem this presents is the commodification of personas. While growing up, we watched our mothers dumb down their appearance, packed their vehicles far away from the market before making a purchase in order to avoid price increases or to create space for negotiation. Most times, you may have changed your dialect, made your English more accented, or even resorted to pidgin English to prevent sellers from hiking their price. In fact, a show of being reserved or whip of American or British accents passes you off as a gullible person, or in slang, a jebo who does not know how the real world operates. All these erode one of the most important values in an African society, which is respect. Respect is the most important value in Nigerian society. It comes first before being kind to someone, telling the truth, or taking accountability. It has become one of those cases where people turn something positive into a max bomb waiting to explode. First, a look into the African leadership structure shows the practice of genetocracy. What exactly is genetocracy? Genetocracy is a political system whereby a small group of elderly individuals are in control of power. In terms of this discussion, the article titled The Problem of Democracy in Africa, the Yoruba Perspective as Illustrated in the Efa Corpus by Omatade Adebindin. A definition by George Sevdian explains this better. The traditional African respect for the authority of the elderly persons, for their wisdom, knowledge of community affairs, and closeness to the ancestors. A belief that an old age comes with wisdom and an understanding of the world. On the surface, this is the foundation of African culture because unlike other cultures where their belief and history are written down or documented, African values, myth, and history are passed down through spoken words. This shows how valued elderly people are in promoting and preserving African culture. It is common to consult elders to settle disputes between families, especially on land issues, inquire about the process of any festive period or cultural event, or to hear a story. But like every good thing taken advantage of with a bad intention, this leadership structure has turned Nigeria into a national craze where everyone looks for the speck of dust just to claim to be older. The craze for respect has led to the stigmatization of groups different from us, where conditions like being left-handed are seen as a huge disrespect towards elders. A lot of individuals with this condition are forced either through beating or curses from birth to use their right hand. They grow up avoiding social interactions to avoid triggering elders. Another condition similar to this is albinism in Nigeria. The constant hurls of insult to the affected individual, belittling their existence, and denying them access to workspaces, a condition that is most times out of their control. With modern development, we have erased respect for elders with wealth, and of course, the stigmatization of certain groups stays to make us feel better. As someone put it best, if you tell a Nigerian that they are wrong on something, they will do a research not on whether they are wrong or right, but on whether they are richer than you. The ripple effect of this spread across the little stable structure working for us. A good example of this is the chaotic nature of Nigerian traffic, despite the presence of road signs and traffic warden. Due to low trust in others to follow road rules, we are used to following our instinct to get things done. Rather than allow road signs to lead us, we use our experience to navigate the road, making driving in Nigeria a daunting task to accomplish. You have to know the best way to insult drivers and pedestrians to maneuver your way, even when the road signs are saying a different thing. After all, everyone does it, and sitting there waiting for the green light will get you laughed at, or people asking if you are new to Nigeria. This also slips its way into the workspace. The Nigerian workspace is a breeding ground for intimidation, insults, and manipulation, where employers expect the employees to feel lucky to have a job, rather than focus on the job itself. They treat you like a child that needs constant guidance and supervision, with no space for constructive criticism or contribution to command respect. Every time, you are reminded that there are tons of people outside begging for your position, and this notion is drilled constantly into everyone's ears to prevent them from leaving and also to enjoy and embrace the abuse. Other times, where the employer is not being disrespectful, the employees pass the leader off as gullible and take advantage of the kindness. The workplace has become a hopeless loop where workers and owners pass off past trauma to the next person, whether deserving or not, to avoid being tagged as not being smart enough. This has made the economic landscape scary for investors, especially African people in diaspora, to invest in Nigeria. Recently, a lot of videos like this has been popping up, exploring the downside of building a business in Nigeria, and they have one experience in common, which is Nigerians taking kindness for being weak, while using it to exploit the business owners. Over time, this behavior has made its way out of our land to the world through social media trolling. It seems like every season, we pick a new victim to bully. We strike this person down. And the sickening thing about this is that we make videos and leave comments, patting ourselves on the back, praising those with the most hurtful comments, while still timing it as cruise and not being serious. The other day, it was Jack Griffo. Yesterday, it was Iwobi. Sometimes we end up fighting with two countries at the same time. We are so used to trauma that we don't empathize with others when they take our actions serious. Another evidence of how the world perceives us is the content foreigners in Nigeria make to feel welcome, accepted. The normal script in this kid-like content is a foreigner behaving like a normal person till they encounter someone overpricing goods or someone trying to get away with asking for more through violence. Then the Nigerian then truly emerge by throwing insults or being intimidating. Sometimes, foreigners are videoed in distress or videoed being exploited to capture their reactions to those scenarios. Those that are more violent or outspoken are hailed to be Nigerians, while those that are calm or reserved are referred to as being stupid, while hailing the perpetrators of those acts and saying how much would have taken if they had been in that situation with them. Enlightenment would have been the best solution if most of us indulging in this think that we are too smart to get away with this behavior. We have a term for this in Pidgin. You wise or you too smart. This makes the environment around us hostile and everyone is out for each other's neck. This is so common that the practice of people imposing authority over others is the norm in Nigerian society. Example of this is the tout taxing drivers for using the road or tout taxing market women for absolute nothing. It is draining to think that the government does nothing to hinder this because they benefit from this group holding the community down in fear during elections. All these are a result of the loss of character development due to emphasis on respect. By now, you might have heard that Nigerians are loud or audacious. This is because the series of patterns that occurs here leaves no room to be quiet or soft-spoken to get what you want. An average Nigerian is not mean or a bully, but firm.